So basically, having run out of other options, and having exhausted the assistance that the NHS and others can provide, I've been back to my doctor the other day yesterday, and then today I went into the Mind Charities Wellbeing Centre in Andover for an assessment as to whether I qualified for help with them, which it seems that I do, but they have to get back in touch with my GP before they can, offer me services and so on. Make sure I'm not scamming or whatever the case might be. But I don't know how much help it's going to be. They're very much focused on groups, and group therapy I don't think is for me. Social anxiety is a bit of an issue, and opening up in front of total strangers is difficult, unless they're on the internet. So I'm not sure how much help that'll be. There's a couple of groups / presentations or whatever that they do that maybe I might be able to get something useful from. The level of anxiety that I'm dealing with is new, so having some help and some suggestions focused on anxiety might be useful, I suppose. And they have an advisor that comes in on Wednesdays that talks about things like finance and benefits, which is, I think, the kind of stage, unfortunately, that I'm at. Because when you work for yourself and you get ill, there is absolutely no financial security, whatsoever. And no one's going to employ me. The state that I'm in, and the fact that I might need, a month off at a time sometimes from being sick. I've been applying for, part-time jobs or regular work that sounds fulfilling, but you have to be upfront if you've got illnesses and things, which kind of reduces your odds. So I don't know. The thing that I'm really having trouble adjusting to is that this is permanent now. If you have, more than a few bouts of serious depression that aren't triggered by events in your life, that's essentially it. It's then an incurable disease that you have to live with and cope with for the rest of your life. And I have all my coping strategies. I've changed a load of stuff in my life. I've done basically everything I can do to cope and carry on and run out of things, which is why I've turned to this group, basically out of desperation for any other resources or assistance. If I could get more financial security in my life, that would help a lot. Very hemmed in by the fact that I'm on essentially a freelancer's income, and that when I can't work, that's it, It's part of the reason I was trying to add strings to my bow, other things I could do to have the YouTube channel and other things grow, to provide other revenue streams and things that could contribute money over time in a similar way to the way that my publishing does in fits and starts. But that strategy doesn't seem to have really worked. So, I don't know. I've said that I don't particularly want or need advice. What I meant was I don't particularly want or need advice on dealing with depression. If people have resources and so on, then, or they have experience dealing with groups like this, then that's useful. And certainly don't hold back from talking about your experiences and so on in the comments. I think we've got a little community on these depression videos of people who share experiences and have common understandings, and it's good just to know you're not alone. That's why I make these videos, for people like me to know that they're not alone, So don't hold back from doing that if you feel like doing that. My desire not to be pestered with advice or to be chased up on and to be sure by people wanting to be sure that I'm okay. You do you. That's just me. So Yeah, all this really was I go into the centre, which is quite a nice building in Andover, and talk to this very nice lady. They're always very nice people at these charities and things. And they ask you all these questions about, are you having suicidal thoughts? Are you having self-harming thoughts? The history of your illness and doctor's information and all the rest of it. And are you on drugs and so on? I always feel after they ask that, do you have a problem with drinking or drugs? That makes me want to go out and do something, because if so many people are using drink and drugs to cope with their mental illness, there must be something to it. I've never been one for either. I'm an odd duck amongst odd ducks. Drugs affect me strangely. Therapies that are useful for lots of people are no use for me whatsoever. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to turn into a swan. Far more likely a swamp beast of some description. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. 2 to 3 weeks before I should hear back, and then maybe I should try availing myself of some of their services. And I'll keep you up to date. I know there's a lot going on in the world that I should be commenting on, and instead I'm being self-indulgent talking about all this depression crap, but sometimes you've got to take care of yourself. Zang.